to British Champs Day 2 on track 2. I'm Roller Polar Bear, and joining me on the live feed is the one and only Beatrix. Good morning, B.
Morning.
You join us here as Granite City Roller Derby are coming up against Rebellion Roller Derby. It's going to be a fantastic game of wheelie smack. Going into the Granite City roster, we have Crimson Chaos, Rockin' Riot, Barack Obama, Uda Mayhem, Unfairly, Lizzie Rascal, Kamitaze, Showtime, Joe Mama, and Bex Rated.
And for Rebellion Roller Derby, who you will see playing in the red today, we have 0, Vicky Vale, number 13, Boris, number 2, Doyle, 20, Wreckham Ralph, 313, Ginger Snaps, 365, Fox U, number 4, Mischievous, 455, Booty Vicious, 49, Nightmare, 626, Moonshine, 69, Hench, 8, Jude Dropper, 88, Tina Turned Her, and 999, Acute Injury.
Absolutely, and this is for a final in the later today's game. So they'll both be playing to pick up a trophy, hopefully, and away we go with Uda Mayhem and Boris.
So Boris pushing forward on the front floor wall built by the Northern Fight. That's dropped down to 3 as they bridge the packs. 2 now. Boris makes it through, picks up lead for Rebellion.
And Uda Mayhem still being held in the Rebellion wall. Rebellion losing a blocker to the penalty box on a direction. And Uda Mayhem is out and about and looking for points.
We see Boris now challenging that front braced wall. Reforming back into a 3. Once again a 4. Granite City really on point there. Crimson Chaos bridging that pack out. Joined now by 360 Kamitaze. And Boris is through. 5 points on the board for Rebellion as Uda Mayhem enters the pack looking for points. Uda Mayhem removes the star, passing it to the pivot. But in the ensuing chaos, Boris is able to break on through. Takes a late hit though from 0-9. That's Rockin' Riot. He's forced to recycle right to the back of the pack in between the straightaway of turn 2 and 3.
Yeah, Kamitaze not getting any movement at all. The start is actually back now with Uda Mayhem. Boris still being recycled back, coming out of turn 2. Offense is coming through from Rebellion Volker, Lid Vicious. But Boris is through yet again. 5 points picked up. Uda Mayhem and Kamitaze now looking for the star pass. It is complete. So Kamitaze now breaks out, coming out of turn 4, picking up 4 points.
Boris back in the pack and looking for points once again. Decides to call the jam just as Kamitaze hits the back there. Let's check in with those points.
11 picked up by Rebellion Roller Derby, 7 points picked up by Northern Fight. Granite City on 7, Rebellion on 11.
So quite a jam-packed first jam there. Rebellion running that one long, which is a surprise so early in the game.
I think what we're looking at, because Granite City is skating with 10 and Rebellion have got a full roster, I think they're going to use it to their advantage, because Granite City played a hell of a tough game yesterday against Dolly Rockets. Went down to the last jam who was going to progress into the semi-final. So really, I think Rebellion probably going to try and stretch a lot of jams out to start with and just try and knock the wind out of Granite City.
Tire them down. Of course, Granite City, one of the furthest travelling teams in this weekend's tournament.
Absolutely, all the way from Bonnie, Scotland.
Well, we're about ready to kick off on this next jam, and it is number 8 for Rebellion, Drew Dropper with the star.
And we are looking at Bex Rated for the Northern Fights.
Drew Dropper though, picking up lead in less than 15 seconds. Northern Fights with a pivot in the penalty box.
Bex Rated now pushing up on one blocker of Rebellion. But we've already got Drew Dropper coming around looking for points. Comes out of turn 4 and will pick up the full 5. Bex Rated getting recycled all the way back. Rebellion losing a blocker to the penalty box, and the pack has speeded up.
So Dewdropper coming through now, takes that inside line pretty much unopposed. 5 points on the board for Rebellion.
Bex Rated hits the inside, able to come through. Now starts the scoring pass. So big jam for Rebellion into the opening round. Oh, side step backward, little 1 foot glide on the outside. Comes through, 4 more points. 14-point jam from Dewdropper and Rebellion. No points picked up by Granite City. A 25-7 game, which is an 18-point split at this time. Remember, kids, maths is fun.
So Rebellion once again running it long, but this time it was the defensive work from Rebellion that really put the blocker on Northern Fights being able to pick up any kind of points there.
Yeah.
Relining up now, 3-6-0. Kamitaze with the start comes up against number 999. Acute injury, but it is Kamitaze picks up lead.
Yeah, acute injury now out the pack, now trying to chase down Kamitaze, but Kamitaze really hits that free wall hard, breaks it apart, shuts the jam down. 1 point picked up by Rebellion, and looks like just a 1 point picked up by Kamitaze. Oh no, 2, to the line. 2 points picked up, no, 1 point now. I am confused with fingers.
I think it's 1 point apiece there.
Yes, I think you're right. Oh, 2 points, I was right all along.
Let it go down in the history books. 2 points there picked up by Northern Fights, 1 point by Rebellion. Northern Fights, of course, playing in the greeny grey if you've just joined us, which means Rebellion in the red. And we have 3-6-5 Foxshoe with the star for Rebellion.
Yeah.
They picked up their lead jammer.
Yeah, Foxshoe breaking through. Granite City, Jamilo getting down low. That is Utter Mayhem breaking out of the pack. So both jammers now in a scoring position, but Foxshoe coming round, now looking for points. Goes on the outside, shuts the jam down, off track, and it's 0 for Granite City. And the 1 point for Rebellion. So 9 plays, 27, 6 minutes nearly played.
589 Bex Rated back on the jammer line for Granite City. And they're coming up against number 13, Boris for Rebellion.
And we are up and away into this jam. Penalty box is empty at this time. Bex Rated being clipped off by Rebellion blockers. As Boris is right out front, picks up your lead, and away we go.
Bex Rated still in the mix of that pack there, but comes out in turn 1. Picked up though by number 20, Wreckham Ralph. Knocked inside, they're going to be recycled right the way back into that pack there. Yeah,
great work by Wreckham Ralph. Last ditch hit, Boris able to come through, pick up the full 5. Rebellion getting the better of these opening jams. Bex Rated now taking off the star, trying to come through the straightaway, get some offense, but now gets taken off by Doyle of Rebellion Roller Derby.
Granite looking like they're trying to grab a goat as well as contain Boris. So doing 2 things at once in the pack, and they just don't have the manpower to stretch that far across this track, especially with the Rebellion defenses that are working so strong at the moment.
Yeah, they really are. They're really pushing up hard. The star has come off. Bex Rated does come through. Does has a scoring run, but Boris has already picked up double digits on this jam. Pivot for Rebellion goes to the penalty box. That's Doyle. Boris looking at the bench, looking for signals. Bex Rated now comes through. Big hit, but both jammer and blocker takes the spill. Bex Rated not too sure where to go. Goes back, and right at the back of the pack.
Well, cut track penalty assessed to Boris there, which means the final seconds of this jam, and indeed the start of the next jam, will be a power jam in favour of the Northern Fights. Bex Rated though just having a little bit of trouble of being able to stay on track and kind of make any progress through that pack. Knocked out once again, recycled back as jam comes to an end. But points have been picked up by the Northern Fights, 2 in total, 4 in total and 18 for Rebellion, which takes our scores. Northern Fights 13, Rebellion 45. We've got 21 minutes 50 left on this clock.
We do indeed, and a 32-point split as well, B. So Northern Fights already having to chase down a point differential. That's not insurmountable by any means, but it has stretched out a little bit. But now with a power jam, they do have a chance to try and break through and pick up some points. But Rebellion picking up the pace of this pack. Kamikaze jamming for Northern Fights, trying to break through the pack. Sees the outside, picks up lead, and Granite City in a great chance to pick up some points.
Boris has returned to play though for Rebellion. Still has to complete that initial. Northern Fights doing a great job there of walling up at the back of this pack, just disrupting Boris's progress.
Yeah, Kamikaze gets a big hit, gets taken to the floor. Boris is through, looking for points. Kamikaze now coming out of 10-4, still got 4 blocks of Rebellion. Oh, I do tell a lie, pivot for Rebellion is in the box.
Well, Boris enters the pack, and the coach for Northern Fights very clearly giving the signal to call off that jam. A little bit too late though by that jammer, as Rebellion also able to pick up 4 points. So Rebellion now on 49, Northern Fights on 17. With this next jam starting with 2 Rebellion blockers in that penalty box there.
Yeah, absolutely. So Utter Mayhem's got a great chance to try and break out and pick up lead for the Northern Fights. Jew Dropper for Rebellion Roller Derby comes in to a free wall. Utter Mayhem comes out, picks up lead for Granite City, and Jew Dropper picking up a forearms penalty. So yet again, Power Jam comes in favor of the Granite City, and now we've only got 1 blocker on Rebellion on track. Big hit.
That 1 blocker is Nightmare, who we saw yesterday absolutely living up to their name. However, they also pick up a penalty. They'll have to do a little bit of skate and wait though.
Yeah, now goes for a sit down. So Utter Mayhem just got 2 blockers of Rebellion to contend with, and does get a couple of big hits, but pivot for Rebellion is now on the way to the box. Penalty trouble for Rebellion in this jam.
Just turning it a little bit feisty, I think, in these last couple of jams. Rebellion really need to start refocusing and being quite, taking it down a notch, I think, with their blocking. They're in the lead, they just need to keep it there, but right now with very few players on the track, they could easily find themselves in trouble. And indeed already Northern Fights on 32, Rebellion 49.
Yeah, this is a big jam from Granite City and Utter Mayhem. I think Rebellion may have just thought they were just trying to extend the score, maybe got a little bit complacent in this jam and it just kind of works against them, but now Jew Dropper has come through and now started the scoring run. So Utter Mayhem is looking at options, and the option is to call off the jam. Shut the jam down. Big jam from Granite. 19-point jam. Biggest jam of this game thus far.
That's actually a score correction there, Berry. It was a 20-point jam in the end, so 37 plays 49.
Whatever.
So just a 12-point differential going into the next 18 minutes of this first half.
Yeah, they really cut that point differential right down. So Granite City right back into the mix. Kamikaze on the jam line.
And that is acute injury with the star for Rebellion.
Kamikaze coming up against 1 blocker over Rebellion. Picks up the pace, breaks on through to the other side. But acute injury gets past the last line of the pivot of Granite City and is out and looking for points. Kamikaze though got about a quarter of a track to play with. But Rebellion are doing what they do. They pick the speed up and Granite City reply. Kamikaze coming through, shuts the jam down. 2 points picked up. So again, coming back into this game now, it's a 10-point game.
Yeah, fantastic work by Granite City. Just chipping away all the time at that point differential, keeping it calm on track and really using that double power jam to their advantage to really start to put the pressure on Rebellion. And we saw Rebellion, as soon as that pressure hit, went into a bit of a penalty spiral. So for them, they need to really try and keep calm and focused on the track. And for Northern Fights, I'd say they just need to keep on doing what they do. Fox U with the star for Rebellion.
Yeah, and we're looking at Bex rated for the Granite City. Coming right up against that pack, Fox U getting the upper hand and picking up the lead. So Fox U out and about looking for points. Bex rated on the way to the penalty box on a cutting track. So now Power Jam for Rebellion, and they'll be looking to increase that point differential. Fox U coming around pretty much unopposed, 5 points. Fox U gets taken off on the straightaway, gets recycled back now by Riot. Unfairly coming, rejoining the back of that wall, but just leaves one blocker out front. Fox U with a big hit, calls it from the floor, and picks up, I think, 5 points at the end of that jam. That was a big hit on the Granite City blocker at the end of that jam by Fox U.
It really was, and you know, something that Rebellion did really well there was just played that disruption game with Northern Fights. They'd started to get into that nice run of feeling comfortable and feeling like their defences were working out, and Rebellion just switched it up again and made that a really difficult task for the Northern Fights. We're going back into this next jam now. We have 589. Bex rated back with that star, but it is Boris who picks up a cut track penalty as they leave the front of that pack. Bex rated though also with a cut track penalty, so a bit of jammer switch around. Now Bex rated did seat first, so they're out and back on track. Blockers had a moment to reset, and Granite looked to do the sweep, but Bex rated takes the outside line. Finds it pretty crowded with Rebellion blockers, Tina Turner in particular. Boris back on track and in play. Of course, this is now a full 2-minute jam. There's no lead jammers.
Yeah, and this can only really work in Rebellion's favour because Boris now on the scoring, and Bex rated still being held in that pack. And the blockers of Rebellion, just 2 on track, are trying to keep Bex rated in. Big hit. Great work yet again from Rebellion, taking Bex rated back. Riot trying to break that wall apart and does so. Big hit by Riot, but Boris coming through, and I don't think the Granite City blockers actually realised Boris was there.
No, I think they're playing a bit of offense for their jammer, but it's at the expense of defense against Boris. And at this point, I don't know whether they want to be just changing that up a little bit and defending and containing Boris to stop this point differential getting crazy. But we've seen a star pass now to 407 Joe Mama. They're going to take the star for Granite as Boris comes through and picks up a further 4 points for Rebellion.
Yeah, just as you said, B, it's a full 2-minute jam, so no early call-off. And I can't help but think that will just help Rebellion just tire the Granite City blockers out and jammers that little bit. As we come to the end, jam falls right into Rebellion's favour, picking up 14 points on that jam. 3 points for Granite City, and an official review called by the Granite City bench. So the last couple of jams have really started helping Rebellion out, really starting to push that lead out. 74 plays 42.
Yeah, that 32-point differential, so at some point we got down to 10. At some point we got down to 10, and that was absolutely fantastic for Granite, and I really felt like they felt, yes, we've been planning, we've been working on strategy, and that's coming together, and it's showing on track. And Rebellion did something which I saw them do in yesterday's game, which was they just switched the tables, they switched it up a little bit more. They're obviously a very physical team in the way that they play, and their defense is absolutely outstanding. And as you say, I feel like they are using the fact that Granite are here with a shorter roster to their advantage. So those big hits, we saw that jammer pile in to the Granite City blocker. They didn't need to go at that full strength.
No.
All he does is just tires those blockers out. And okay, this first half we might not see a difference, but in that second half when it really starts to get down to it, Granite are going to feel that tiredness. And Rebellion are going to have a larger breadth of roster to be able to choose from. However, Granite playing it smart at times. They're conserving their energy. They're just playing the defense, playing the offense, trying to get their jammer out. That sometimes is at the expense of points. So maybe they should be using this official review time to actually think about what do they think is more important. Is it more important to not have any more points scored against you, or very few points scored against you, or is it more important to get your jammer out?
Yeah, no, absolutely. It is going to come down to a very, very leggy game, especially for Granite. Looking from yesterday, looking from the game they had with the Dolly Rockets, they did come back from, I think, a 40-point differential at one point and came right back into the game to take the win. But you could tell there was a lot of tired skaters towards the end of that game, including the Dolly Rocket skaters, which ended up on a shorter rotation due to a couple of injuries. So Granite City, you're right, B, will probably start feeling the legginess a little bit later on. And Rebellion, as you say, full roster, it's going to work for them.
And that's no shade to Northern Fights and they're going to feel that tightness. That's just a fact of tournament life. You played a game yesterday short, you're playing a game today short, you're playing against two physical teams, and Rebellion really do, physicality-wise, outclass quite a lot of the teams here this weekend. So absolutely no shade to Granite that they will be feeling that tiredness, but what they need to do is think smart now. The second half of this first half, going into the second half, what are they going to do? What's more important to them? Points or having points scored against them?
Yeah, no, and I think, well, actually looking at what we've just seen, obviously we actually can't get to the official review because we're literally a million mile high.
Yes.
And no one can, it takes 10 minutes to get to where we are. The house is going to try and relay back to us, but I do know that the Rebellion jammer, which is Boris, is in the penalty box. And they have won their official review. We are finding out what it's for. B is on her way back.
Okay, so I didn't run down there, just so you know. Granite City, we're asking for a cut track call to be made on the Rebellion jammer Boris. The call was reviewed and the cut track penalty was given. So Granite City starting this jam in a power jam, and that is of course Utter Mayhem. They're out on track.
Yeah, Utter Mayhem pushing out and able to break out of the pack, start to score on. Boris and Tina Tanda are now released from the penalty box. The Rebellion back to full complement. Granite City back to full complement. But Utter Mayhem on that scoring pass. Boris trying to break through the Granite City blockers. Got two to deal with. Looks at the outside. Does get clipped off by the Granite City blockers. Utter Mayhem just trying to feel their way through that Rebellion wall. But Boris is out of the pack and now looking for points. So Utter Mayhem has got a choice. Call it now, see what points you pick up, or try and run it some more and try and get through the pack. I think Utter Mayhem has shut the jam down. Keep Rebellion to a 0, and pick up a couple of points, 3 points.
You know, and even though that's a low-scoring jam for Granite, they are in the driving seat there. Picking up that lead meant that they had control on when they shut that jam down. And we've seen before Boris can really pick up some huge jams when they put their mind to it, and it's allowed out on track. So great call by Granite there to just shut that down. 3 points picked up, takes their score to 45. Rebellion on 74.
And we are looking at 11.5 minutes of gameplay left to play. We are looking at Joe Mama for Granite City, trying to break out of the pack. And that's Jew Dropper for Rebellion, but lead goes to Joe Mama and Granite City. Jew Dropper is now out of the pack and looking for points. Oh, Joe Mama picks up the speed, able to avoid one big hit, but still Rebellion swarm around Joe Mama. But Joe Mama is through and picks up 4 points and shuts the jam down. So yet again, Rebellion being held to a 0-point jam. Granite City picking up the 4 points. And as you said, during the official review, B, Granite City have to make a choice. Stop the jammer and let their jammer get on with it and see if points are picked up, or go all offense and let Rebellion jammer basically come through.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that the past two jams, they've picked up lead twice, they've put points on the board twice, and they've held Rebellion scoreless twice. So that's obviously working out for them, and maybe something they need to do a little bit more of. But what's really important is that they get that lead jammer status first of all, I think, because that's giving them the confidence and that power to be able to call off the jam and make it run the way they want it to run. And we're seeing right now great work there. Acute injury comes through on the outside, gets picked up and knocked through to the inside line, recycled right the way back. Kamitaze still looking for an in on this initial pass, but acute injury managing to shrug off 0-9, rock and riot to find the pickup lead. Granite City now must just completely switch through to either springing their jammer free or reforming those walls to keep acute injury at bay.
Yeah, big hit by Unfairly, takes off acute injury, but Kamitaze looks like have passed the star now to Lizzie Rascal. So Lizzie Rascal, who did that a couple of times yesterday, helped with a star pass and did pick up some points for Granite City, but now being recycled back by Lid Vicious. Acute injury right out front, decides to shut the jam down. Means Granite City doing a good job though, keeping acute injury into that pack. Yes, they've lost a few points, but they didn't hemorrhage anymore. And acute injury was actually starting to find it quite tough out there.
You could see the tiredness, and because Northern Fights just relentlessly rained down those blocks, so they were being knocked out, forced to recycle back, knocked out, forced to recycle back, and that's exactly what you want to do. If the other team does get lead jammer, if they are getting points, you need to start tiring them out and tearing them down that way. Jammers don't like being knocked on their knees.
No, well, who does?
I mean, come on. So, Granite City Northern Fights on 49, Rebellion Roller Derby on 78. That's a 29-point differential there in favour of Rebellion. Not insurmountable. 8 minutes 55 left in this first half.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right with the point differential. What's also is good to see is that Granite City just thought they might be running away with it a little bit. And Granite City being able to halt that hemorrhage at this time and are still well in this game, and Rebellion know this, and Rebellion maybe we're hoping for that maybe a bit of a bigger point differential at this time.
Yeah.
They haven't got this, and Granite City still well in this game. Fox U and Utter Mayhem on the jam line, and Fox U is pushing right out front, trying to break on through, and does so. Picks up your lead for Rebellion. Last two jams, last two leads, Rebellion.
But Fox U are very springy jammer, and Granite need to work out how they're going to contain her, because putting just two blockers on is not enough. We've seen Utter Mayhem finally breaking out of the pack now, but they are a full lap behind Fox U, who's already put points on the board for Rebellion and chooses to call off that jam. So Rebellion playing pretty much the same game Granite are right now, which is getting out, grabbing those points, calling off the jam, and holding the opposing team scoreless. 82 plays 49, 8 minutes left. We've got 3-6-0. Kamitaze with the star for Northern Fight coming up against 13. That's Boris for Rebellion.
Yeah, we're looking at possibly a 3 to 4 jam rotation for Rebellion, and we're looking at maybe a 3 jam rotation bang on for Granite City. Boris out front though, and picking up a lead for
Rebellion. That's right there.
Boris coming through. Actually, seems to Granite City walls just seem to stop them for a moment. Power jam in favour of Rebellion. Kamitaze in the penalty box. And a cutting penalty for the pivot of Granite City. That's Lizzie Rascal. So Granite City not having the best of jams here. Boris picking up the speed, coming through and picking up another 5 points. We're now looking at a 10-point jam with still over a minute of this jam left to play. This could be potentially a big jam and a damaging jam for Granite City. Boris through yet again, but Kamitaze picking up the speed, able to stay in bounds and able to start the scoring run for Granite City. But Granite City running into penalty trouble. Rebellion running into penalty trouble. Micro pack on track. And comes through. Boris coming through, shutting the jam down. A failure to reform penalty being dished out at the end to Lid Vicious. So Granite City go down to 2 blockers on track. 97 points now for Rebellion, 15-point jam from Boris.
Yeah, that's, as you said, that was quite a damaging jam for Northern Fights. They were, however, able to just squeak in 3 points at the end of that piece of play, so 52 to 97 there with 6 minutes left of this first half. And they are starting with that micro pack out on track, so let's see how Utter Mayhem can get on here. Do of course have number 8 Dewdropper with the star for Rebellion.
And Utter Mayhem breaks it out, picks up your lead jam as one blocker leaves the penalty box, one blocker enters. That's Tina Tanda for Rebellion. But we do have Dewdropper out of the pack for Rebellion, so about half a track to play with for Utter Mayhem. Granite City going on the offense, but the 2 Rebellion blockers are out front awaiting Utter Mayhem. Utter Mayhem passes the hips of one, shuts it down, and picks up 3 points for Granite. So 55 now plays at 97.
Despite Rebellion not having the most amount of blockers out on track there, they did dominate that jam because they set that speedo and kind of forced Northern Fights to play their game, which was difficult because of course Northern Fights wanted to pick up as many points as possible, and Rebellion run away made that a little bit harder for their jammer to do so, and also more difficult for Northern Fights to be able to put up any kind of defence at speed as their jammer came back on track. So good call off by Northern Fights when that did happen, but they need to think more about how they can be more dominant on the track even when they have the majority of players. Acute injury versus Kamitaze. Kamitaze is in that penalty box, meaning this is a power jam in favour of Rebellion.
Yeah, and acute injury is out and about, picking up lead, taking 24 seconds to pick that lead up though. Oh, big hit for Rom. That is 414. Oh, sorry, 314. That's Lizzie Rascal with a big recycle on acute injury. And now Lizzie Rascal, just one blocker wall, trying to take care of acute injury. Big hits now. Lid Vicious trying to break apart that pack. Acute injury being taken off by Riot. Big hit by Lid Vicious. Breaks apart that granite wall. And acute injury is able to be out front and looking for points. Kamitaze out the penalty box, but now Rebellion are working all over Kamitaze. His acute injury is actually still being held now by Riot. Great work from Riot, and
tag teamed also by Crimson Chaos, and a good shot penalty picked up there by acute injury. So playing that game exactly, putting that pressure on the jammer, forcing those mistakes to be made, means that Northern Fights now have another chance here with a power jam in their favour.
But Kamitaze isn't having it easy themselves. Great work from Rebellion, able to shut down Kamitaze. Lid Vicious especially working magic all over Kamitaze at this time. And Kamitaze is waiting for help from Riot, does get it. And Lid Vicious has picked up a penalty. So Pivot and Jammer in the penalty box. Kamitaze out now of the pack and looking for points in this jam. But the jam runs to a close. Acute injury able to leave the penalty box and is the only jammer picking up points in this jam.
So 4 points in total there picked up by Rebellion, taking them over the 100 mark to 101 place. Northern Fights 55, 2.5 minutes left. Northern Fights just not switching into that offensive mode quick enough when that power jam came in their favour. For a very long time we're looking to go a player. They didn't need to do that, they just needed to swing their jammer free to take full advantage. So this jam starts, even Stevens with both jammers on the track, with 2 Rebellion blockers in the box, which means that we do have a lead for Bex Rated from the Northern Fights.
And Fox Yu really picking up the speed, trying to pick up points themselves. And both jammers flying through, and it's Fox Yu comes through, picks up 2 points. The speed really paid off. 3 points being picked up by Granite. So Granite do come off the better with a 1 point split. So 58 now plays 103. We are now rolling into the last minutes of this first period. As you can see now, out of 10, 3-4, there is a discussion going on just with the referees. It looks like nothing's happening. But we are back into the action. Utter Mayhem and Boris on the jam line.
Yeah, great work that Rebellion's blockers were still sat in that penalty box. Could have worked in Northern Fight's favour going into this next jam for them to be able to pick up lead. Doesn't, however, as Boris manages to grab that against Utter Mayhem. And Utter Mayhem knocked to the inside, forced to recycle once again. Takes off the star and runs through the middle of that pack, pretty much unopposed. Boris, though, already on that scoring pass with 5 points picked up, is able to call off the jam, deny Northern Fights any opportunity there.
Yeah, just a quick jam, quick call off, get some points back on that board, make sure Granite are held to 0. They're realising the half-time is on the way. They want to finish strongly. And at this point in time, a 50-point split now in favour of Rebellion, the biggest point differential we have had so far today. So Kamikaze on the jam line, Jew Dropper on the jam line, and Kamikaze and Granite City will try and finish this period by shutting that point differential down. But Jew Dropper pretty much unopposed, within 2 seconds, lead being picked up. So Rebellion with the control of this jam. And Kamikaze with the star taken off. Oh, great dropping of the shoulders, evading the hit. Kamikaze, great work, but already Jew Dropper coming through, picking up 4 points for Rebellion.
Well, Jew Dropper calls that jam. Picks up 4 points, as you say, along the way there, which takes them to 1-1-2. Northern Fights 58 as we go into this halftime.
Yeah, halftime period underway. So we'll join you for this second period here at British Champs in the semi-final for Tier 3. So come back soon, won't you? Join us, that'll be delightful.
All right, we're back to it. Here's the 2017 British Champs Finals, Tier 2, Tier 3, women's and men's. I'm the lovely Beatrix joining me on the live stream. It is the wonderful Bear.
Yeah, so 58 plays 112. No mics were turned on in that conversation. We are about to ready to get up and away into this next jam. And away we do go.
Well, jamming for Rebellion, that is of course Boris, with a star for Northern Fights. It is Utter Mayhem. Boris makes it out of that pack first of all, though, to pick up lead. Comes in hot and heavy into those walls in between turns 1 and 2. Finds an easy pass though for those 5 points for Rebellion.
Yeah, Utter Mayhem finding it difficult lines at this time. But able to do a star pass, and the star pass is completed. That is Lizzie Rascal breaking out of the pack for Northern Fights. But Boris has the control of this jam. Just the jam down in style. Comes through, picks up a 9-point jam. 58 plays 1-2-1 at the end of that jam.
So fast start off there for Rebellion coming into this second half. Clearly had that 15 minutes to have a think and a chat and decide exactly how they were going to want to play this second half. And as I said earlier, they really do dominate on the track. So I just wonder whether Northern Fights are going to be ended up playing a game they perhaps hadn't planned to.
No, and I think this is going to really work in Rebellion's favour if they keep jammers out of the penalty box. Because Granite City breaking through, that's Kamikaze spinning away from the Rebellion blockers. And we're looking at Fox U still being held by the 4 blockers of Granite City. Now offense is coming in for Fox U, but Kamikaze coming to the back of that Rebellion wall and looking for points.
Yeah, great work there by Kamikaze, just taking a moment, playing it cool, gets knocked out by 0-0. Vicky Vale calls off that jab. Did they manage to pick up points though, Bear?
They did indeed, picking up 1 point. 59 plays 1-2-1.
And we look like we're about ready to restart. Great atmosphere this morning in the hall. I'm sure you can hear it. We have got the Spartans versus the Norfolk Broads coming to a final on track 1.
Yeah, they are. They're on track 1 right now. It looks like they're just about to end. But right now on track 2, getting right into this second period, Utter Mayhem and Jew Dropper are out on track. Jew Dropper is out and is lead. Utter Mayhem, though, with about a quarter of a track behind. So Rebellion got lead, but might not have it all their own way in this jam. As Jew Dropper's coming around looking for points. Skips past 1, hits the back of 3. and shuts that jam down.
So yeah, 5 points there picked up by Rebellion. Oh sorry, 2 points. Do forgive me. 2 points picked up by Rebellion. No points for Northern Fights. Northern Fights keeping that pressure on, with the jammer able to just not really allow enough separation for Rebellion to feel comfortable, and forcing that call off quite early into the pack, I think.
Yeah, no, absolutely correct. Because we've got a nice quick end to that jam. Northern Fights will be happy with this. Northern Fights will be even happier now. They've just picked up lead. Kamikaze coming out. And that's acute injury being held now by the Granite City blockers. Granite City doing good work, keeping hold of acute injury, but acute injury coming right out front and is able to break out, able to start scoring, but Kamikaze already through. And seeing the fact that acute injury was out, shuts the jam down, picking up 4 points. So 63 plays 123. We're back to that 50-point split. No, I'm telling like 60-point split.
It is 60 points.
It is.
Well, Kamikaze doing an absolutely sterling job as a jammer for the Northern Fights in this game. Really able to grab those points and pick up those leads quite easily. So super job there. I just wanted to check in with some of those penalties we saw in the first half there. Nightmare from Rebellion holding it 3. Vicky Vale also. Tina turned her on 4 though.
Yeah, that is quite a few for Tina Turner. I'm quite surprised. I didn't really realize that they'd spend that amount of time in the box. Whereas you look at Granite City, a couple for Barack Obama, 3 for Lizzie Rascal. That could become a problem because I know Lizzie Rascal has jammed previously. Kamikaze on 2, Joe Mama on 3, and Bex raided on 2. And it's interesting, unfairly jammed yesterday.
Yes.
And unjammed quite a bit. Now, are they keeping unfairly back for maybe the last 20 minutes? Add them into the rotation? Or is there an issue there? Because they did pick up points yesterday for Granite City.
I saw her unfairly in the pack earlier as a blocker doing some sterling work there as well. But maybe you're right, maybe they're keeping her back as a well-rested jammer. We're going back to this next jam now. We have Fox U up against Utter Mayhem.
Yeah, Fox U breaks it out, picks up your lead. So Fox U out and about looking for points, but Utter Mayhem yet again able to come out, but picks up a cutting the track penalty. So, power jam for Rebellion with a great chance just to extend that point differential, but a back block penalty going to Fox U as signaled by the jam ref, Funkus Puck. And so we'll have a quick jam in, jam out. Utter Mayhem out and about now, out of the penalty box and looking to try and break through the 3 blockers over Rebellion.
I think what was interesting there was that back block was drawn by the blocking work of Lizzie Rascal from Northern Fights, who did a fantastic job. We've seen jamming, but also this double threat in terms of being an excellent blocker as well. Penalty time served though by Fox U, and they're back out on track and picking up points already for Rebellion, as Utter Mayhem in the mix still on that pass.
Yeah, Fox U though coming through, getting past 2 blockers. Now got 2 blockers to deal with. And Utter Mayhem still being held right at the back of that Rebellion wall. Fox U coming through, picking up 4 more points for Rebellion. And Rebellion now starting to come towards, slowly but surely, that 100-point differential over Granite City. If this jam continues like it is, now 5 being picked up by Fox U, as Utter Mayhem finding difficult pack trouble.
I think what I'm finding difficult right now is that Northern Fights are kind of playing 2 very separate games once again out on this track. So high block assessed to one of the Northern Fights blockers, which means they are down to 3 blockers on that track, but still they're not able to reform and provide any kind of effective defense against the jammer or the blockers of Rebellion, and they're kind of just leaving their jammer out there once again, Bear.
Yeah, and the thing was, Utter Mayhem at the end of that jam looked very tired, took some big hits. Rebellion recycling with pace and with very clear direction to shut any kind of jammer action down. Not worrying too much about the jammer of Fox U, because they were just out and about picking up points. 19-point jam from Fox U. So really now Rebellion really taking control of this game.
Yeah, 4 points were able to be put on the board by Northern Fights though. So 67 plays 142. And it is Boris who is your lead jammer for Rebellion.
Kamikaze coming out, able just to take the last bit of a hit. And is out and about looking for points. Boris, though, only having to contend with one blocker of Granite out front. Boris comes through just to jam down. And picks up 4 more points for Rebellion. So Granite City kind of needs to start working their way back into this game. But like we've seen in these last few jams, their jammers do look a little bit tired. That's very, very tight rotation. The very few numbers they have just might be starting to work against them with 22 minutes left to play.
I think now would be an ideal time actually for the Northern Fights to take a much needed time out and just regroup and refocus on what it is they want to achieve in this second half, because we saw when they were organised in the first half they did some great things, but now I just feel like they're quite disparate in these packs. And we're seeing Jude Dropper picking up lead once again. Utter Mayhem scooching around that outside line, not lead and about a whole lap behind Jude Dropper as they pass through, picking up their 5 points on their initial.
Whistles have come to an end. A little bit of action just for the whistles were finishing. 4 points being picked up by Rebellion. No points being picked up by the Northern Fights. So yet again, now they're 17 points away from picking up that 100-point differential. So 83-point differential at this time in favor of Rebellion roller derby. Granite City a blocker down. So 3 blockers on track for Granite, 4 for Rebellion. We've got acute injury on the jam line. And we're looking at Kamikaze for Granite.
Well, Kamikaze pushing forward first of all in that pack, moves inside, takes it outside, finds the space though, picks up lead. Just as acute injury also sees daylight. But Kamikaze now has to put on those burners, try and grab some of that space between them both.
Yeah, Kamikaze, an acute injury coming round. Quite a quick ending. I'm not too sure if got 1 point being picked up for Granite, no points being picked up for Rebellion. So 1 point, 68 now playing 150. Is it going to be enough? Do you really need to see bigger jams from Granite City if they're going to make any impact into this second period?
Yeah, and I think that they need to all get on the same page. Granite City's blockers were trailing behind then. There wasn't enough separation between those jammers, to be fair, for it to be a comfortable pass through for Granite. But at this point, do they need points more, or do they need to shut down Rebellion's jammers more?
I would be looking possibly at shutting down the jammer first. You've got to do that first. You're not going to make any headway. Fox U breaking out, picking up lead. And just as you said that, Big, 1 went to offense, 2 were playing defense, and it didn't work.
Yeah.
You can see it didn't work. And so now what we've got is, you've now got Granite City Jammer, which is Raya, able to come out, but already we've got Rebellion on that scoring pass, and Rebellion just playing that hit it and quit it game.
Yeah, let's tire out Granite City, getting as many jams as possible in this second half to make them feel tired. 68 plays 154. We've got just under 20 minutes left of this second half. I just feel like they're trying to strategize on the hoof, Granite City, and that's never going to work out well for anybody. The bench coach needs to use the timeouts that they have to be able to pull something back in this game for them. Rebellion are very well organised. Anybody who saw the game yesterday would understand completely that their defence was so strong that you do need to have a plan against that. And Granite City need to be thinking a bit differently, I think. Yeah. So Boris, you lead jammer here, through, and already on a scoring pass.
Yeah, and Utter Mayhem coming around looking for points, but yet again, Boris coming through. Seeing the fact that Utter Mayhem's coming into the back of the pack, shutting it down, picking up the 4 points, and Rebellion are more than happy to play this game. It really is their game now at this point in time. 90-point differential.
Yeah.
And as you said, there's no timeouts being used by Granite City.
Yeah.
Maybe it's time to just take that time and really say, what we're doing. We need to shut this jammer down.
Yeah.
Or are we going to play offense?
Yeah.
One or the other isn't working because Rebellion are too smart for that. They're too organised, and they've got bigger numbers to play with.
You know what? You don't lose points by taking a timeout.
Well, in USARS, you do.
Kamikaze with the star now for Northern Fights. Comes up against Jude Dropper. Jude Dropper shrugs off the 2-line defence from Granite City to pick up lead jammer. There is a ruckus in between turn 1 and 2, and a star pass from Kamitaze to pivot 0-5. Crimson Chaos, first time jamming in this game for that skater. But Dewdropper's already through, picked up those points quite comfortably and calls off that jam. 4 points there, takes Rebellion score to 162. Northern Fight sitting at 68.
So we're looking at the 4 last jams have been hit and quit for Rebellion Roller Derby. So Granite, no scores in the last 4. So they'll be thinking, well, I honestly don't know what they're thinking because I don't think like a skater. As anyone who used to see me skate will realise that.
Great, insightful. Thanks, Bear.
We'll come back with more insight.
So Granite City starting with Granite City starting with 1 in the penalty box, but the other 3 out on track doing a fantastic job of holding a Q injury at bay here. Q injury just dancing around the back of that pack, looking for the in. Utter Mayhem doing the same up front, testing those defenses from the Rebellion jammers, and it is Utter Mayhem who manages to squeeze out of that pack on the inside line first of all. In hot pursuit though by a Q injury, calls off the jam.
Now, the choice of running it was definitely there, but also what had happened as the packs were coming round, a Granite City blocker was put out on the back. So they were right at the back of the pack, and if anything, acute injury was hot on the skates of the Mayhem. So the choice was, shut that jam down, don't hemorrhage any points, because that Granite City blocker might not even made it past the Rebellion.
Yeah.
That might have just shut down any chance of getting through. So is it smart? Yeah, it is smart. You're not going to hemorrhage, but you're not going to gain anything as well.
Yeah. Okay, I agree. Thank you.
Good work, everybody.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks for being here. Fogshoe with the star for Rebellion comes up against Kamitaze. Kamitaze definitely one of the more successful jammers in this game for Northern Fight. But Fogshoe sees daylight. Oh! Picks up that hit they couldn't shrug off from Barack Obama. And a cut track penalty as they try to re-enter. So power jam in favour of the Northern Fights now. And 2 blockers only out on track for Rebellion Bear. Means this should be quite light work.
Yeah, well, you'd think so, but you've got Doyle and Lid Vicious for Rebellion. And Lid Vicious, oh well, you say light work, and light work does pay off. Kamitaze coming through, getting a hit from Lid Vicious, but able to come through, picking up the full 5 points. So big points for Granite City at this time, as they will just start trying to get themselves a little bit back into this game. Now 4 blockers are back on track for Rebellion, and Kamitaze is finding them difficult works, them difficult lines, as Fogshoe rejoins from the penalty box. Big recycle now onto Fogshoe as Kamitaze is taken on the outside.
Well, Kamitaze really trying to just test the weakness spots in the Rebellion's walls here. We're seeing them move from inside to outside and back again. I think they need a bit of support, bit of offense from the Northern Fights to help out. Northern Fights just focused on beating on down on Fogshoe. Knocked to the inside this time, recycled right the way back. But Bootylicious there, knocking Kamitaze out and recycling them right to the back of the pack. As Fogshoe finally breaks on that initial pass. Seconds left on this jab Bear.
Yeah, and Fogshoe coming round. No points picked up though. Granite City come away with the spoils from that jam. But Kamitaze is just making their way off track, and they do look that little bit tired. Like Utter Mayhem did in them few jams ago where the hits just kept raining on them. They look like just that little bit tired, a little bit leggy. And we're right back into the action. 78 playing 162. Utter Mayhem coming up against Boris. Penalty box is empty with 14 minutes left to play.
As you said, that was a 10-point jam for the Northern Fights there, so great work by them. Let's see if it buoys them up going into this next jam.
Yeah, we'd really like to think it would. Utter Mayhem, and you're right, it looks as though it's buoyed them up. Utter Mayhem was flying through Rebellion. 12 seconds, and you've got a lead. Boris still being held by the blockers of Northern Fights. Couple of big hits, but Boris takes them and is able to break on through. But Utter Mayhem is already through, and points being picked up. Great duck and a dip and through to pick up 4 more points for Granite City.
Yeah, as you said, absolutely beautiful duck and dip between the 3-4 straightway there. Gave them the ability to grab those points and call off the jam. Northern Fights now taking that timeout.
Yes.
82 plays 1-6-2, 13 minutes left of this game. I'm going to say something that contradicts my previous statement. I don't think they should be taking that timeout right now.
I'm inclined to agree. They've just had 2 brilliant jams.
Yeah.
2 jams that have kind of left Rebellion going, oh, hang on a minute.
Yeah.
This isn't all cut and sealed. You've got the momentum.
Yeah.
Run with it.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't work, then take your time out.
Yeah.
We've had a few good jams. It hasn't worked last jam. Let's take the time out. Right, let's go again. You've just had 2 good jams. Take the time out, then all of a sudden your momentum can slip away.
Yeah.
And it's just a little bit worrying that this could work against Granite, and it could work for Rebellion.
Yes. Though saying that, on the flip side, we have noted that quite a few of the jammers are starting to look a bit tired, a bit leggy from Northern Fights. And of course, once you get those tiredness, those penalties do start to rack up. Right now, coming out the first half, they were in a pretty good position penalty-wise. Certainly in comparison to Rebellion, who were up there just the slightly higher echelons of penalties. But what you don't want to happen is those blockers to go into the next jam feeling tired, getting a bit armsy, forearms start to happen, back blocks can happen very easily there. So maybe this is a preservation timeout. Okay, yeah, we're doing great, but maybe the bench coach is starting to see just some of that tiredness slipping in and those penalty causing habits coming out.
Yeah, no, God, yeah, absolutely correct, Pete. And we're right back into the action. Dewdropper breaks out for Rebellion, picking up lead. Kamitaze still being held right at the back. Bootylicious getting a big recycle on Kamitaze. Coming all the way back to the pivot line. Kamitaze looks at the inside, gets a big hit, now getting recycled back as Dewdropper coming round for a full 5 pass.
Kamitaze looks like they're trying to pass the star.
And it goes to unfairly. The star still trying to be passed.
And to be fair, what I'm seeing once again from Granite City here is that there's no set plan for those blockers.
No, it looks just a little bit chaotic. They've got a power jam as well.
Yeah.
So Dewdropper in the penalty box. Kamitaze still trying to work their way through. They are getting offense, but at this point in time, Rebellion are just recycling just at the front and just away. Now we have a star pass to Unfairly. So Unfairly now with the star, but this is a great penalty kill from Rebellion.
We had a bit of slow derby being played by the Northern Fights, hoping to kind of push that pack out of play. Didn't quite work there as one of their skaters was up there trying to offer up that offense, so actually form the pack, and that penalty came to an end. So for Rebellion, great penalty kill.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Granite City just couldn't find an answer, and they still can't find an answer. Big hits being dealt out by Rebellion. Dewdropper again coming back around. Another 4 points being picked up. 14-point jam at this point for Dewdropper, as Unfairly is still being held. Rebellion, even though a blocker down, are still doing great work. Kamitaze with a big hit. Onto Dewdropper. Jam does come to a close. And an 18-point jam from Dewdropper. 82 plays 180. 98-point split at this time.
Yeah, brilliant work there as well by Dewdropper. Just taking, not going in hot and heavy, just taking their time, picking those lines. The least line of resistance found each time, the least path of resistance found each time, so they're able to just conserve energy while picking up those points. Acute injury now with the star for Rebellion. Comes up against 589. Bex rated for Northern Fights. Yeah. It is acute injury who finds lead jammer status first of all.
Yeah, Bex rated just being held there, but able to come through, able to come out at 10-2. No real last bit hit coming through, so able to start the scoring on acute injury. Still trying to find the gaps. Now being taken up on the outside. Good work by Granite. That was good work by Granite. Yes, they may have lost a few points, but it's only, from what I can see, it's only 3 points. So good work. It's now a 101-point differential. So we're now looking at a big point differential.
Yeah.
But that last jam, Granite City looks a little bit more organised.
Yeah.
Looked like they knew exactly where they were going, knew exactly what they were going after. Timeout now called by Granite City. Again, maybe just having these moments. Last couple of jams haven't gone so well in their favour.
No.
So I'd have just taken that moment just to see if they can go again.
Absolutely, and there's 10 minutes left of this second half. There is no world here where Granite City are gonna do something, that's absolutely mind-blowing, and they're going to pick up that 100 points and close that differential. So they're not going to win this game, but I think they can take back a lot of learning. One of the things I see is that I think the blockers feel very comfortable taking on acute injury as a jammer from Rebellion, maybe because they're perhaps one of the most smaller in stature jammers, so they're not as physical as the other jammers, and they are able to really either hold them to a low point score or hold them completely to a no point score. They need to take that confidence that they have there and apply it to the other jammers from Rebellion, because they can hold them back. But their plan seems to fall apart the moment they feel slightly panicked or slightly challenged out on track.
Yeah, no, and I think you've absolutely hit the nail on the head with that. I think, and what we have seen when it does go in their favour, it really goes in their favour, and they play some great defence. And when they go for pure offence, they can have a good go at these really good Rebellion walls. But let's not take it away from anything from Rebellion.
No shade to either team.
No, Granite are playing on a very, very tight rotation.
Yeah.
And they did an amazing game yesterday, and they're really putting their all into this one. But with Rebellion's bigger rotation, it's just not working in their favour at this time.
Saying that though, excellent hit out there by a Northern Fights blocker on Fox U. And once again, forcing that recycle back, so no lead jammer just yet. Udder Mayhem with the start for Northern Fights, but finds themselves just smothered by Rebellion blockers up at the front of that pack. The cavalry comes in to help. They have to do a big switch over to defense once again. Not able to do it as a group. 107 just going out there. 407, sorry, Joe Mama just going out there and being a bit of a lone wolf, which doesn't help. And this time Joe Mama with a hit into Doyle actually clears the way in favour of Fox U. So not quite working out the way they might have liked.
No, not really. Udder Mayhem has now got to contend with the 4 blockers. Offense is coming in for Udder Mayhem, but Fox U realising that they can just try and glide around 2 blockers of Granite City come through. So yet again, we could be looking at a big jam for Rebellion. Granite City still trying to break their jammer out, still trying to get Udder Mayhem out of that Rebellion wall.
Udder Mayhem sees daylight, shrugs off a hit from number 49, that is Nightmare. Manages to complete that pass there.
Yeah, it was hell of a tough time for Udder Mayhem. And yet, when Udder Mayhem was just about to break through, Nightmare chased her down, didn't catch her, but you could see Udder Mayhem looking over the shoulder and Jesus, leave me alone.
Just let me pass.
Rebellion are working at 100 miles an hour at the moment.
Yeah.
They are flying around and they are really, really going at Granite City. And they're looking at the clock, 8 minutes. Yes, the game is, let's say, going towards the Rebellion for the win.
Well, it is going. We don't have to sugarcoat that up in any way. Rebellion are going to win this game, and they're winning it on their excellent defense there.
Oh, absolutely. Their defense has been brilliant to see. And when you've got jammers like Boris and Fox 2, we're seeing Boris right now break out with great endurance and great agility, coming out and picking up these points. Kamikaze for Granite City coming out. Rebellion have got a great game plan, and it's worked really well today.
Oh, Kamikaze off to the penalty box there. Low block penalty?
Well, okay, so low block penalty going at Kamikaze. Didn't see anything, I'll be absolutely honest. It's not because I took my glasses off, it's just because I just didn't see anything. I obviously could have missed something, but at this point, Boris is out on a power jam. So Rebellion roller derby with a great chance just to keep expanding that point differential.
They certainly will be expanding and increasing that point differential there. And here we see that rush from the Rebellion players. But great work there by Northern Fights. Just that three triangle moving into a flat wall and escorting Boris to the edge of the track. Didn't finish it off though with a completer of that knockoff, and so Boris was able to just scooch round with a bit of a quick turn and complete that pass to pick up those points. 19-point jam so far as Boris calls it off.
Yeah, Boris just shutting that jam down. Big jam. 19 points picked up by Boris and Rebellion roller derby. So Granite City not getting the better in these last couple of jams. You know, as we said many a times during this game, tiredness will become a key factor for Granite City. Lots of traveling yesterday. You know, very short rotation of players. Played a hell of a big game yesterday in Story Rockets.
Yeah.
Big shock on the cards was that game as well.
Yeah.
So we're now looking at maybe just a little bit tired, you know, feeling it now.
Yeah, absolutely. 82 to 213. We've got number 19 with the star for Granite City. That is Utter Mayhem. And it is Jude Dropper with the star for Rebellion. Jude Dropper at the front of this pack, just dancing around the outside. Picked up once again, but sees daylight in turn 2 for lead. Immediately, Utter Mayhem removes the star, passes it actually to the pivot, which is unfairly. As you said, Ben, we may see a bit more jamming action now in these last few minutes of this game, but unfairly held up by the blocker contingent from Rebellion, led by number 2, Doyle mainly. As Jude Dropper breaks on through, 5 further points on the board for Rebellion.
Just seeing unfairly coming through then. Got 2 huge rib hits of Wreck-It Ralph. I mean, they were big hits, and the power going into them. I'm surprised that unfairly kept going, because they were big hits. And that's the thing, the tenacity hasn't stopped.
Yeah, not at all. The forearms penalty there for unfairly ends this jamming run for them. Jude Dropper able to power through on that outside line. 5 further points picked up there for Rebellion.
Nightmare on the way to the penalty box, picking up a forearms penalty. So 3 blockers left on track for Rebellion. Granite City still with the 4, but running into trouble with offense.
Yeah.
And being able to reform their packs.
So Doyle just working as a disruptor in this jam, and you'll see here again, just comes in, breaks up. Not enough that the pack splits, but enough that the Granite City blockers are then looking at what Doyle's doing, and their jammers able to just break through those gaps that open up as they drift to the side.
Yeah, absolutely. Because Rebellion, with their game plan today, it's just worked.
Yeah.
It's worked very well. Granite City at times have done some great work, but that's the biggest jam of this day. Actually, is that what? No, I think we did see a 30-point jam yesterday.
Yeah.
I think we did. But this is the biggest jam of the day so far.
Definitely. That's because it's so early.
It is very early.
So early!
Catch the brush! 241 plays 86. So 4 points picked up by Granite, 28 picked up. Looks like Nightmare is taking an early finish to this game, running into the penalty trouble, as you said earlier, B.
Yeah, I mean, going in from the first half, they were already on 3 points, and they have been double running on jams here, working incredibly hard. They are an action maker out on track. They make things change, and I think that's perhaps why they end up catching some of those penalties, which just means they're fouling out. Yeah. Back to the action though now, acute injury with the star for Rebellion. Comes up against Kamitaze. It is acute injury who's through and on a scoring pass.
Yeah, acute injury now, picking up the 5. Kamitaze not finding anything coming their way at this point in time. And Tina Turner just flew towards the pivot with that star pass. We talk about how quick a pivot can go from a defense to a jammer in a heartbeat. Tina Turner literally span around and flew at the pivot as if it was a 1-point game.
Well, acute injury came through that pack in quite a novel way. Picked up points though and called off that jam.
Yeah, it was novel.
It was different.
Worked
for them.
Absolutely. Wouldn't work for me.
Nor me. So the Northern Fights are able to grab 1 point there in that jam. So great work by Crimson Chaos, who took the star for the Northern Fights. 2-5-5 plays 87. 2 minutes left of this game there.
Yeah, absolutely. 120 seconds left of a bit of weedy smack action. I apologise. Fox U coming up against Utter Mayhem. Utter Mayhem coming up against Booty Vicious. Jammer and Blocker just having a bit of a dance, but able to come through. Utter Mayhem starting the scoring run. Fox U being recycled back now by the Granite City blockers, and Fox U just taking hold, shutting the jam down.
Interesting. I would have thought that Rebellion would have just run this clock.
I think they're just. I think
they're just having fun.
They're having fun out there.
Yeah.
They know they can probably get maybe 1 or even 2 jams, more in. And
yeah.
I think they just want to keep running this game because they're really enjoying themselves like that. And to be fair, Granite City are as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So why not? Even the referees are dancing. So Jammer's lining up.
Should be doing that.
So Jammer's lining up and dancing together. It is Kamitaze coming up against number 13, Boris. Oh, Kamitaze picks up lead jammer for Northern Fights.
Yeah, Boris just now breaking out of the pack. Riot held as long as possible. And now Granite City trying to break apart that Rebellion wall, trying to give the advantage to Kamitaze.
Oh, Kamitaze calls off the jam, plays it up for the fans. 4 points there for Northern Fights there.
Yeah, 256 now plays 91.
I would like to see Northern Fights try and get up to the 100 mark with this final jam that they perhaps have.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's the least they deserve because it's been a tiring and a very exhausting, tough game for them. But my God, have they kept going?
Yeah.
They haven't just chucked the towel in for this. They really have kept it going. So possibly the last jam of this game. Dew Dropper coming up against Udder Mayhem.
Udder Mayhem takes the middle of the pack. Dew Dropper moves to the inside. 1 left to pass now, joined by the pivot. Can't land a hit, and Dew Dropper is your lead jammer.
Udder Mayhem is coming up now against the free blockers of Rebellion. Now getting big offense from the Granite City blockers. Oh, Dew Dropper able to go shoulder to shoulder with the Granite City blocker coming through and picking up the 5 points for Rebellion.
Granite City coming in with that swarm, helps their jammer spring through, completing only that initial though, Bear. 5 points on the board already for Rebellion as Dew Dropper comes in and out of that pack with quite a bit of speed. 4 further points picked up and jam comes to an end. So somebody got those 9 points, it just wasn't Granite.
No, unfortunately not, but they did pick 2 more points. Udder Mayhem able just to come in at the pack at the end. We do have the unofficial score at this point, 93 plays 265. So bearing any jam ref mishaps, one of the reasons why I'm not allowed to ref anymore.
No, that famous jam ref mishap of 2012, we all remember.
Well, I did write letters to friends and family concerned with that.
Well, that score looks like it's going to be final now, but you can catch even more action on track 1.
Yeah, track 1, we're going to be having Men Behaving Badly against the...
Men Behaving Badly?
Yeah, Men Behaving Derby, sorry.
The famous TV cast?
Yeah, Neil Morrissey.
Martin Clunes.
Neil Morrissey and Martin Clunes take part in a roller derby competition. Within 2 minutes, Martin Clunes has been concussed and Neil Morrissey, so drunk and wasted from the night before, plows into the suicide seat.
Well, I can't wait to watch that episode.
Yeah, Caroline Quentin guest starring as the bench.
They're coming up. So Men Behaving Derby coming up against Teesside. No, not Teesside. Come on, give me a clue here.
Dorset Knobs.
Dorset Knobs?
Yeah.
Great. So Men Behaving Derby coming up against Dorset Knobs in just a little under 4 minutes over on track 1. You can catch that game there, but for now I've been the average Beatrix, I have to say.
And I've been the tolerated bear.
And we will catch you again sometime soon.
Ciao.